Hi, in this video tutorial, I'm going to be covering the Trim and Extend tools. The Trim and Extend tools are both located on the Modify tool palette. To locate the Trim tool, which we'll cover first, locate the Trim icon. Another simple way to initiate the Trim command is simply to type TR Enter at the command line. Once you've initiated the command, look at the command line. You'll need to view at least 2 lines of the command line. So look at the top command line. It says Select Cutting Edges. Okay, so the first thing that you're supposed to do is consider what your cutting edges are going to be. The way AutoCAD trims things is by using a line or an intersecting line or circle or polygon as a cutting device or a cutting plane or an edge to trim off the object you want to be trimmed away. So in that way, it's almost as if you're doing the command backwards. So let's say that we want to trim away the middle part of the cyan vertical lines. So our cutting plane that AutoCAD is asking us to select would be these 2 yellow lines if we only wanted this middle segment to disappear. Okay, so once you've selected what your cutting planes will be, hit Enter. Now look to your command line. Again, you're going to need to read 2 lines of your command line. It says select an object to trim. Okay, I'm going to pick the middle part of this cyan line. You'll notice that these 2 yellow lines I selected in the first part of this command were used to trim away, or they're the edges of the trimming device that cut these blue lines away. If you're done with the command, hit Enter. Now let's review this again. TR Enter. Pick a cutting plane. This time we'll use the 2 cyan lines as our cutting plane. Hit Enter to go to the next step. The command line now indicates that we need to select an object to trim. And Enter ends the command. Okay, so now that's the way that you use other objects as cutting planes in Trim. Let's use the Undo command. Let's type in TR Enter. Notice in the pointed alligator brackets at the command line, Select All is the default, which means if we push the Enter command one more time, everything on the screen is a cutting plane. So therefore, whatever you pick on, if it abuts an edge, will be trimmed away. Nice. Enter ends the command. Okay, let's undo this again one more time. And next we're going to use the Extend command, which is also located on the same icon pull-down menu. Alternatively, you can type in EX Enter at the command line. Okay. So now look at the 2 lines of the command line. It says select a boundary edge. So AutoCAD's asking you to select an edge that's perpendicular to the lines that you want to extend. So I'm going to pick this magenta vertical line as my boundary. Once I've picked that boundary, I hit the Enter key, and that progresses me to the next part of this command. So direct your eyes to the command line again. It says Select Object to Extend. I'm going to pick on these yellow lines because look, if I pick on these cyan lines, these are vertical lines. They go up and down. They are not perpendicular. In fact, they're parallel to this magenta line. They're not going to extend to it. So only the yellow lines in this case can extend to the magenta line. Hit Enter to end the command. Now let's look at this command one more way. Let's hit the Undo button. Let's type in EX Enter, Notice, like the trim command, in alligator brackets, select all is the default. So if we hit the enter key and make a crossing through all of these yellow lines, they all extend to the magenta vertical line, and hit the enter button to end the command. So likewise, we could use TR, enter, enter, and we could do a crossing box to trim. Do a crossing box to trim here. So practice using TR, enter, and EX, enter, to trim and extend lines and polygons. Let's put a circle in here. What would it be like if we trimmed out the lines in the circle? TR, enter, enter, crossing box. Excellent. Okay, progress to the next video.